This is Therese, and this is the monthly business expansion training. So today we're going to be talking about messaging must-haves, and I am going to go over those. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do a little quick screen share, and I know other women are going to be jumping on. So you're either with us now or you will be watching in the future. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, messaging must-haves with Therese Skelly. For whatever reason, the slide didn't pick that up. Okay, so this is important. Here's how we roll today. I want y'all to understand this. This is, when I do these webinar training experiences, it's really called the, expanded business experience, whatever it is, because I don't want to just be lecturing at you. I'm not here just to be the teacher imparting wisdom. What I like about this community and the way I teach is you get to show up, get to share what you want. We help each other. And so share as much as you're comfortable. What my promise was for this messaging is that we can workshop some of it. Woo, woo, woo. And that means you might be saying, what do you think about this? And sometimes that could be a little bit of a vulnerable place. In the olden days, I used to do like website copy review. And I always would be like, I don't want to tell you your baby's ugly, but oh, good hell, that's an ugly baby. And I would have to say, please have thick skin. I'm not calling you a terrible person. I'm just saying that copy isn't really you, right? And so I just always want to basically, when you come on, number one, you're being recorded. Other people are going to see this. So share what you're comfortable with, like manage yourself. We're all grown, just manage yourself. And we're here to help each other. That's the most important thing, right? Because usually the women that come to these calls are super supportive of each other, very community oriented, et cetera, et cetera. So we're just going to jump and say, we'll stop the share for a second. So what do you want to get out of today? So does anybody have a specific, and hi, Jenny, you've been in my heart, love, sending you lots of good stuff. Any specific intentions for today?
I have a evergreen offer
Okay.
that I feel like should be selling like hotcakes and it's not. So I
Okay.
would like to dial in my messaging on that today.
Perfect. Okay. Let me write that down. Okay. Other takeaways. What do you want? What's your intention for today?
I have two things. One is I have come to the point within myself of I can't take it anymore here. And the recognition of personal responsibility, and it's time to do what needs to be done
Great.
to,
Yeah.
bring stable financial in abundance. I don't have any other words for it right now. So number one, I'd love some pendulum guidance.
Okay.
And two, I do have a flyer that's been sitting here.
The flyer, the famous flyer. Okay. And again,
Yeah,
the
and
focus
I
is
just
mainly on messaging. And part of why we're not getting messaging right, we're not getting visibility right, we're not owning our value right. It's because there's the energetic piece. So I just want to make sure it's about messaging, and very likely we can attend to other things. And if not, you're going to be on the call on Thursday. So we can do it there as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Jenny, Janice, if you want to share, you don't have to, but if anybody's got like, this is what I would like to have happen today.
I'm just here for whatever I'm supposed to be here for.
Beautiful. Nice. Jenny, anything you want to share about?
I did my lead magnet today, and putting it on a giveaway, and I did my landing page and my thank you page, but it's like every single step is technologically challenging, and I've got to sort something and fix, and then next thing, and then obviously with everything going on. So I think I just need energetic stuff like clearing blocks today, because for all that stuff and for everything else. Yeah.
I'm glad you're with us. I'm really glad you're with us, darling. Okay, let's keep going. So thank you for that. So Okay, so you all know me. All of you who are in the call have worked with me. You know me. Those of you who don't know me, if you're new, if you're just seeing this. So I call myself the intuitive business mentor. And what that means is I blend my career of being a psychotherapist for 20 years, I have a master's degree, I practiced. And then I moved into being a marketing strategist, business coach. And then along the way, it's like, what? How do I know these things? And I became aware that I have delicious, beautiful God-given intuition. And so I use the intuition. If you hear my clients say, can you pick up the pendulum? I need the energy stuff. That's the intuition that can guide me to exactly where we need to work. I'm also a speaker and author. Where's my book? It's not near me. Oh, here it is. Anyway, hold on. Gotta show you. I really should. I never promote my book. I have to talk about my darn book. Love-based mission: how to create a business that serves your soul. This is a few years old. I'm very proud of this one. Speaker, author, healer, a boy and dog mom. And I guess I'm a partner to a sexy man. I guess I should say that. Anyway, and I'm noticing that I'm getting really pixelated. So, oh well, maybe it's the energy. So that's a little bit about me. So let's dive in. Okay. This is what I want you to know. This is what you just have to get. You have to get messaging. I will say, here's my idea. I think messaging is the hardest part. I really do. Because marketing isn't that hard. You just put yourself out in front of people, you develop the know, like, trust thing. Messaging, it takes time. Like when you're brand new, or when you do something new in your business, if you're pivoting in your business, you might not know what it is. You might not know how to talk about it. I want you to know that as you grow and expand, your messaging will grow and expand, which on one hand is pain, because that means you got to keep tweaking it. And it's very, very, very easy and kind of sexy to like follow the formulas. And I want to share one thing you should know about me is that I'm like anti-formula girl. I'm just enough of a rule breaker and enough of like, wild individualist, sovereign, freedom seeking gal. I would never tell you, oh no, this is how it has to go. I might say, doesn't feel right, or how's it, or so I'd say, how's that feel to you? We can do some market research, but I'll give you an example. One of my clients, a beautiful woman who is like in healing, healing, energetic kind of stuff. She was working with me privately, and she was in another coach's group coaching. And so she says, okay, I want you to review, because I do a lot of review of people's copy, because I have to make sure it's, here's the word, aligned. Okay. I like, is that really you? And does it make you light up? Does it make you like, oh, that's so yummy? And as I was reading her page, one of the deliverables was, I will show you how to create high ticket offers and make more money. And my head about spun around, and I'm like, I've known you for years. When did you start? Wait, what? What's going on? She goes, well, my mentor said that I should try to go after high ticket offers and promise money. I said, how does that feel in your body? And she said, it feels gross. And I'm like, you're not going to be able to sell it. So that's an example of what's out there in the industry. You should go after high tickets. You should have really high prices, premium clients, VIP. And that's cool if that's yours. But if somebody says to you, this is how it has to be, because this is what's selling, that won't sell. This is what's selling. Nobody can tell you what's going to sell. I can tell you, that just does not feel in alignment. The you that I know, that I've known for years, how is it feeling now when you have a promise that you have to make them get money in the door? And she's like, oh, it's horrible. And I'm like, 86 that stuff. So that's the risk, right? It's very messy because it is so hard. It can be super seductive to like, oh, okay, there's a formula. Don't do a formula. Okay, let me take a sip. And you can go, yay, Therese, you're right, I agree. Or that happened to me. We've all been there. Like I've paid like $9,000 one time for messaging for a 3-month program. And I couldn't use it. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to do it? What are the strategies? And every strategy that I use, they were like, nope, don't do that one. I'm like, I just paid you a boatload of money. And I love this person. I respect her. She's a colleague and a dear friend. And I was like, And perhaps the messaging could have lent, I couldn't see it for me. So there's either it's not aligned, like, oh, hell no, you should never say that, or it's so big and it's so you that you can't see it yet. And let's help you create the foundation of the opening so you can hold all of that. Was actually the case for me, because they kind of nailed it. But the way they were trying to have me market it, I was like, no, so do you see what I mean? So there's different ways. It's either not aligned or you don't have the foundation to be able to handle it. So both are mistakes. And I want you to understand, God, do I just sound like Debbie Downer? Messaging sucks, it's horrible. I want you to be like, oh, it is the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing. It really is. Does you guys agree with me? Does anybody struggle like, yeah, shit, it's hard. But because you get on it and then 2 weeks later, you're like, I've moved past that by now. Feel free to put in the chat or just share, but yeah, it's hard. Okay, yeah, that sounds fun. I like Debbie, my Debbie Downer rants. Jesus, that's a little Mary Sunshine over here for you. Okay, to the 3 must-haves. Let me grab my board here. Number 1, value. We're going to talk about each of these. Value, because if you do not own your value, I could literally hand you the perfect message and you're like, oh, and that's what happened to me when my friend put me into the new messaging. I was like, well, what? I can't say that. I couldn't own my value. And we're going to talk a lot about that. I'm pretty sure last month I did one of these. I talk about owning your value a lot. I've got so much of that recorded, but it's the most important. Okay, so value, number 1, that's an internal thing. Am I owning it? Can I stand on the mountaintop and say, oh, you better freaking hire me? You wouldn't say it that way. Maybe you would. But can you boldly assert your work and your results and why you're the best? Okay. Number 2, voice. That's the words. That's the way you're showing up. That's the essence of what you're saying and how people are like, oh, whoa, right? And that's where people try to give you formulas. Can we say F the formulas? Hashtag F the formula. Formula person. There might be a little bit of guidance, but basically I'm going to show you, I've got 3 or 4 examples of clients that I've worked with that we just set up the formula and we just came up with some really fun, cool messaging. And then the next one is visibility. And that's the legit, like, are you getting visibility? Like, are you getting, like, what are you doing? Because you can have all the owning your value and you can say, yes, I nailed it. Oh, but I don't want to bother them. I already sent a mail 2 weeks ago. Janice is smiling. So if you want to nail your messaging, I feel like these 3, once you can, it's not just one, right? Do you see? It's the 3 of them that are all connected. All right. The more I'm teaching this, I'm like, this is really good. I'm glad I put this together because I think people don't put them all together, right? They talk about getting visibility without owning it, or they talk about getting visibility without getting your message nailed. And the 3 together are like the triumvirate. Okay. Value. Okay. Let's just talk about this. And the difference between what you provide and what they receive. How does that change their lives? This is where money is made or lost. So most of us, and I want y'all to listen. If you are listening on the replay, this is so important. Do the work with us because it's so important. Okay. So somebody could say, it's going to cost you $5,000 for coaching with me. And your brain could go, that's X amount an hour, and that's only X 3 months, or and it gets transactional. And whenever we were in the transactional space, the little gremlins, the little parts of us like, really, you can't charge that. Oh my God. Like when we go transactional, we diminish our value. And truth, as I told you earlier, when those brilliant branding people put me in my, you guess what the messaging was? Basically what I'm doing now. It took me 4 years. And they basically said, you don't even talk about business. It's all energy and emotions. And I'm like, and I literally was, well, what else would I do then? because I'm used to helping you with copy and sales and putting your programs together and doing your funnels. And I could wash your car and I could cook for you if you come over. Like I was used to overgiving. I was used to, you should hire me because I'll do all the things. Like seriously, little things. And when they're like, nope, not doing that. I literally had like, but that will take me 15 minutes. And my friend said, but what if in that 15 minutes you save me $5,000 or you get me unblocked so I create 40,000? Why does it have to be an hour or 3 minutes? And I couldn't own it. Right? Because I didn't understand and I was in the transaction and hello, raise your hand if you're a woman or a girl who's ever done proving energy. What? Who's had to raise your hand if you've ever been a little people pleaser, caretaker, overgiver, codependent, all the things. I know y'all hang out with me. I know I got it, right? And so when you come from that to distill your work into what's the pure essence of it. And so and feel free, just jump in. If there's any questions you have or if anything you want that pops, you can just talk. You don't have to put it in the chat, but let me just keep going because that's where we get broken down, right? Okay. So if you want to think about how does it change life? So when I say the difference between what you provide, that's the transaction. I provide coaching 5,000 for 3 months, let's say. What they receive is boom, 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 right there. That's the transformation. Okay, and let me show you another one. I like this one too. But this is what's in your way. This is what's blocking you. So your brilliance is living in your blind spot. And if you notice the photo here, the little graphic, it's the subconscious mind that basically houses a lot of it. And this, we still have a little bit of the puritanical, it's got to be hard. Like I don't value anything. It's just too easy. It just came too easy. Like we throw that away because we've been taught we had to work really hard. Or there was some perhaps, and I see a typo right here. Anyway, anywho, we're not going to fix it now. Or you're raised like, oh no, I can't brag. Oh no, what kind of people, we got to be humble. And so we were taught all kinds of stuff that keep us from standing up and saying, this work is amazing. I'll tell you how I get around it, but I want to hear, is there something for you that you understand? Like, yep, this is blocking me. And you can put it in the chat or you can share it. Like, what is the thing that does not allow you? So you on the call and you watching the call, what is it? For me, I already told you it was, but it's so fast and so easy and it'll only take me 15 minutes. How can I charge that for only 15 minutes? I need to give more. Yeah, somebody says, I wish I knew. Yeah. So that's the thing. So we understand it, but there's the emotional stuff, the energetic stuff, the carried beliefs, the ancestral stuff. I always say I come from an Irish family, and I never understood it. My grandma used to say it. She'd say, don't be putting on airs. Don't be putting on airs. Don't be putting on airs, okay, in the Irish lingo. And what that means is don't make yourself look more important. Don't make yourself think you're better than others. There's like, so raised with that. And then I come and I'm like, I'm supposed to talk. I didn't tell you how freaking great I am. You see, so whatever we're raised with, whatever literally our ancestors have given us through the glory of epigenetics, or perhaps your culture or your country or your religion, all that stuff impacts you. So what kind of women stand on mountaintops and proclaim? Seriously, let's play this. What kind of women just stand out there and go, I'm a shit. Like really, seriously, you got to hire me. Words, negative associations. What kind of women are like that? You can say words and say them.
Bossy.
Bossy women. Yeah. What else?
Proud.
I'm sorry. Proud?
Proud.
Awesome. Yeah. Proud. Good. What else?
Self-centered.
Self-centered. Great. There's always associations. Bitchy, bossy, self-centered. Gosh, she's acting like a man. She's not being ladylike. She's, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff we're swimming in the feminine energy, and maybe having been suppressed a little moment here and there, where women standing on street corners going, I know my shit is like, shut her up, get her off. And so we battle that all the time. It's again, I want you to understand that a lot of what you're dealing with isn't because you're crazy or because you're lazy or because you're weak. It's literally swimming in the waters. Got it? Okay, let's keep going. Thanks for hanging with me, gals. Where is it? Share again. Okay, so this makes all the difference in the world. You own your value, you understand. I want you to really do the math, figure this out. What they will avoid if they work with me, what they will gain if they work with me. And what's the long-term value? So if you think about what I will say is if somebody doesn't work with me, they will avoid, if somebody does work with me, they will avoid making like that client that I said that was trying to do the really high ticket offer. And I'm like, girl, that's not, they'll avoid making mistakes. They'll avoid spending money on mentors that are not going to fix the problem. They'll avoid not being seen and visible and money making. So you kind of think about what you solve is really the problems they have. So think about the problems your people have. So if they come to you, they can avoid those problems and you can even monetize that. How much does it cost? So we're just going to go to Miss Alice because you're just so easy. You're just so easy. I always say that too. Let me message you, girl. It's so easy. So just really quickly in one sentence, tell people what you do just so they can follow along.
I'm an equine body worker, massage therapist, and skeletal alignment specialist.
For horses only, okay?
Only horses.
Only
Yes.
horses. So what, so you have a horse and your horse is sick, stuck, harmed, lame, injured, whatever problems. Give me, because I'm not an equine person. So what are the presenting problems that could lead to, so if they don't come to you, they're going to be in this bad place, which is, just give me a few.
If they don't come to me, whatever symptoms and issues are showing up are going to progress and get worse and worse and worse. And in the worst case scenario, a horse becomes unrideable.
Right.
And maybe permanently unrideable.
Right. So you're either going to lose the pleasure of riding with your horse, or it could be lame and maybe have to put down, but mainly the pleasure of having a rideable horse. Okay.
Mhm.
And if you're the horse owner, I'm assuming that's like, I will do anything and everything to avoid that.
Mhm.
But that's what they avoid. So if you understand, here's the problem. And then what do they get if they work with you?
So what they get when they work with me is
Don't look at your notes. It's in your body. You taught
a
her.
happier, healthier horse. They get clarity about what the underpinning issue is and how to then address it properly and correct the issue if it is correctable. And they also get to then know how to work with their horse where the horse is, and it improves their relationship.
And so I'm assuming they would say vet. So long-term value, healthier horse, happier horse, less vet bills, more time to enjoy horse, right? And so
Longevity. Yeah.
I'm going to say, I'm just going to put $5,000 on yours. I don't know, if it takes $5,000 to get those results, but let's just say $5,000. Okay.
Mhm.
So, they're probably going to spend $5,000 in the pain area.
Yes.
That's
Easily.
they're all kinds. They're going to try to do that. Now they're going to spend money with you. So that's your solution. The long-term value, is it worth more than 5,000? Are they going to save more? Are they going to enjoy? Like, you see, I mean, that's what you have to look at. So what are they going to avoid? What are they going to get? And long-term. So in 2 years, 3 years, they could save a boatload on vet bills, and they'll have their horse longer, a healthy horse.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So that's the formula. Does anybody have any questions about that? Or can you fill that in your head? Safriana, you're looking like you're a little, gotta open your,
I so struggle with articulating
okay?
what people get.
Okay. We'll
Out of
talk
my
about the
like, it's
problem
just
then. Let's talk about the
so
problem.
hard.
It's okay. What's the problem? Where are they when they find you or when they need you?
Well, thinking about this current offer that I'm looking at, they are struggling with something in their life that's like a shadow area and they need a way to do that shadow work. So they're facing a relationship problem, low self-esteem, like this is a framework that they can apply for any issue in their life is what this product is. It's my butterfly framework. So it's about letting the old stuff die so you can transform into the new form. Do you see
Okay.
why I struggle with this?
You see what's happening here? We're like getting real esoteric. My girls are trying to, we're going.
That's my number one issue.
Okay, but here's the problem. Said nobody ever like, oh my gosh, it's my shadow work that I must do. Said no one ever unless you're a therapist or trauma worker.
Right.
Okay. So what do normal people that are so give me a scenario because you made it just okay. So this is why messaging is hard because she was a therapist. She is in the jargon of it. You're using vernacular that I as a therapist understand, but other people and they're going, what in the F did she just say? Like, what did you say? And so you want to go like, okay, number one, give me a tangible, wow, I've outgrown my partner. Boom, something like that. Or shit, maybe I'm gay, or whatever the thing is, like whatever, like what's a tangible thing that they're facing? And then number two, what are they saying about that? Their language.
So I recently used the program myself as a client and I was working on my overworking. So I
Okay.
noticed I had a negative cycle of overworking
Okay.
and I felt stuck
Mhm.
in the pattern of overworking.
Perfect.
So the program helped me break free of that pattern so that I didn't have to keep doing it anymore.
Perfect. Did you notice
Um,
like we all understood her in that moment? I'm overworking. Crap, I'm stuck. I don't know how to get out of this. I need help. And girlfriend's like, okay, I can show you a process. Here's a process. So after they go through your process, and I think I don't know, what do y'all think? Framework sounds like stuffy and academic to me, but that's just me. Process denotes I'm going to start you here, then you're going to go there. It's a process, right? That's to me a stronger word. But again, I'm not the expert on your work. You get to decide. So at the end of doing your process, so you're in your overwork, struggling with that, what was the outcome?
the outcome is breaking free from the patterns and being able to have a new way of being. So for me, it was not overworking anymore. I
Okay.
wasn't overworking anymore. I had a new relationship with work.
Okay. So that's the not. I'm not doing this any longer. What do you get? You kind
Time
of said a new relationship.
freedom,
Okay. Nice.
free time,
Nice.
healing from burnout, not being stuck in the pattern. That's not
You're
again.
in a lot of the knots.
Yeah.
You have a better relationship with your output, that kind of stuff. So was that helpful, darling? How we kind of like just made it a little more concrete? Oh, Janice, word hippo.
I love word hippo.
She's our girl. She's our girl. Okay. So does that make sense to you though? Does that was
Yes,
helpful?
it
So
is.
here's
And that's my messaging might be just taking those micro problems and applying the example. So, so and so was overworking, did this, now they're free of that pattern
yes.
and have more time.
Yeah.
Someone's working through the program in heartbreak right now. They're like looking at their
Perfect.
patterns with heartbreak. So
Right.
it can be
But
anything.
when you say patterns with, see that language, go, Janice, go.
Well,
Hey,
so I was
Janice.
going to say, because I've been in we'll say, similar situation in terms of it can work with anything, except I was in I can work with anyone or almost anyone. Like I had a few exceptions, but otherwise and I liked it. I liked the variety, yada, yada, yada. And for years, people would say, oh, but you need to have a niche. And I would define what I thought of as a niche, and they would be like, no, that's not a niche. And the main reason I bring this up is because I have found through years now of doing this that I finally understood that defining a niche didn't mean that I only had to work with those people. It just meant that's who I was marketing to, and other people would come along. So I say that in terms of, yes, you can work with anybody, but what you might find with this, messaging that Therese is talking about is that if you have certain examples that just really excite you by the results they got from it, you may want to highlight those and have that sort of be, these are your, the areas of biggest impact, say, that may or may not be the words. And then, somewhere you can put the whole, and I work with other things too, but that's like little. But that way it would be more concrete for people and it would be more understandable. Like, for someone, so we'll just say that you and I decide we're going to have a coffee chat. If you can give me 3, maybe 5 examples of the people you work with, it's going to be much easier for me to promote your work than it is for you to say, I work with anyone to help them overcome stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not real helpful. So that's my probably 3 cents now. I don't think we're at 1 cent or 2 cents anymore.
Really good. And I sort of believe, because there are, this gets a little bit off topic. In terms of niching, you can completely niche. Like I work with pregnant women, like that's my market, or I work with menopausal women, or I work with, horse owners in the Bay Area, right? So you could kind of do the people, or you could do problems. I work with chronic anxiety. So you can brand the people, and I'm kind of all things for the pregnant women. I give them this, or you can say, I have so many techniques. If you've got anxiety, you come to me. I'm the person for anxiety. You can do problem. And you can brand your process. So the process, like EFT is a process, right? So it's a process that this can work with a lot of things. You just have to kind of explain the process. But when you say things like they break their patterns from, that's not language normal people use. It's either I was overworking, I couldn't stand myself because I was exhausted all the time. Oh, now I can relax more. When you talk about, like, there can be a little speck of breaking patterns, and you can say the process will help you break the patterns. And the famous marketing line is, so that breaking the patterns isn't the end goal. That's the vehicle. So that it's a vehicle. What do they get once the patterns are broken? Make sense? You have a new relationship with work. You can put it down. You are in charge of your time. You are no longer a hostage to your to-do list, right? And like I was saying, super tangible, boom, 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 boom. Make sense? Okay. I'm gonna move on because we have more. So, all right, hold on 1 second. Has this been good? Like, was this?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like really like business coaching today. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And you always want to elaborate the long-term value. Thank you, dog. Long-term value, because people, of course, I'm in my office with the door open, but it's all right. People have to make a return on investment. Like, wow, if I pay $5,000 this year, what I can say is, number one, you're going to save all that money, making stupid investments, making bad mistakes. And number two, think about how much more income. So that 5,000, we could 10x to 50,000 over the next few years. So do you see how I drew that line? So you're not like, yeah, 5,000 is a lot this year, but you're only going to get better. It's going to exponentially grow and grow and grow. So that's, you want to think about, like, really articulate what is the lifetime value of my work. Somebody works with me for X amount of years, game changing, articulate it, the tangible and intangible. Yes, you'll make more money, but you'll be more confident. Like, really do this work. This will help you in every, and let me just say one more thing. You're not going to say all of these things in your messaging. You can, it'd be like an 87-page sales letter, right? But you're going to know it in your bones. That's what I want. And I've gotten even more, some of you have been on calls where I will be shameless, like, you know what? You need to work with me. You really need to work with me. I couldn't used to do that because I know now what happens when you do. And I wasn't owning it, and I couldn't speak those words. I'm like, oh, call me if you want, if everyone, if you're around, if it could work. I'm sorry to bother you. Apologies for asking. Don't want to bother you. Right. That was how I was in the beginning. Well, thanks, Merv. Thanks for coming in and barking at us, buddy. So I want you to get to the point, whether you say it or it's just the energy, because you can say a lot with your energy without selling yourself. It's just the energy of, like, she knows, right? Because for me, it's an energetic, not hopefully, That was being falsely humble. Wah, wah. When people are in my presence, they're like, shit, she's got me. Right. And it's not because I'm going to make you more money and you're going to, it's just, I just wrap around. And so that's the energetic piece is like, wow, that's what you want for people. Okay, let's keep going. All right, dog settled, we can keep going. All righty, thank you. I'm having fun with this. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Okay, I love this one. Da, 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 da. Voice. How are you saying what you're saying? And what makes you stand out or unique? So when I was playing with Sapriana, I'm like, you're not saying it in a way that people are hearing it. You're saying it like a former therapist. And so the best question is, how does my market speak? Like if Janice and her friend are talking about their stuff, what would Janice, like what words is Janice using? Or when Janice like literally lays her head on the pillow and is praying to God, she's going, please set me free from the patterns. She's probably not saying that, right? It's like, what do they say at night when they're obsessing and praying to God? What do they say to their best friends? What are they like secretly saying to themselves? You got to nail those words. So it's either sometimes we are our own market and sometimes you do market research. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples. Oops, I got to start with a photo. I'm going to stop this share. So years ago, I got to find it. Years ago, there was a young woman. Sorry. Let me find my. Are we still on Zoom here? We're still on Zoom, right? Okay. I lost it all. Okay. Years ago, there was a young woman. Her name was Jennifer, and she was like 27, 26, 27. And this was years ago. This is when I was really doing a lot of marketing. And she was, do you know what a home stager is? When you're going to sell the house, it's like a designer that comes in and just sets up some furniture. And so she was going to do a postcard campaign. And I'm like, okay, cool. If you're going to drive a postcard to your website to work with you, let me look at your website. And I'm like, girl, this just sounds like a stuffy brochure because everybody errs on the side of basically making a resume. This is like 10 years ago. So it was really like no personality. It was just like, here's my qualifications. And I'm like, okay, Jen, so you're pretty young. Is there, and I didn't even know how psychic I was back in the day. I'm like, is there a story where you maybe were like in like kindergarten or something and you were organizing? And she's like, oh, this is the weirdest thing ever. Yeah, actually I was in first grade and I would go in and there's all the kids that their shoes were all everywhere. And I would organize all the shoes. And I'm like, ooh, do you happen to have a little picture of your little younger self? And I got to show you, this is so good. She did what I suggested. She completely changed it. Because number one, we had to battle the thing of how does she stand out? And she's really young and it could look like, what, you've been here for 2 years? So we had to basically say, I've been doing this for 20 years, right? So that was the potential objection that my marketing suggestions were trying to help her. Now I got to show you this. This is so adorable. Okay. So this is her. And again, this is probably 10 years ago. I don't even know what she's doing now. So this is the little kindergarten picture of her. And she's all the way a young home stager. I've been working for 25 years. And she tells the story of the organizing. She tells a story of how like she's been doing this. And then she goes into more of the professional. Okay. What was crazy is that she did a postcard campaign. So literally cold mail to people. 2 people called her up and said, that photo, oh my gosh, I have to hire you. That is so adorable. I love that story. Now, nobody thinks that a little 6-year-old photo of themselves would be great messaging, but do you see how it's set? Like, do you see it handled all the credibility? And it was like, oh, I love that. Like, there's something about that makes you connect. It absolutely worked for her. So that's one example. Okay, so there's a couple other people that I have worked with in the past. Sometimes we have things that we deem shameful. And so one of my clients was a woman who had, she was a marriage coach. She was Christian and she was working the space of saving marriages. And she's like, but I've been divorced 3 times. Who is going to listen to me? And I can see how the little gremlins could say, loser, really? That's stupid. Who would ever want to hire you? So I worked with her and I said, let's do this. Okay, what happened in your first marriage? What were the lessons? Okay, what happened in the second marriage? What did you learn? What happened in the third marriage? How did that end? And we basically wrote this beautiful web page where she's like, you know what? I got divorced 3 times, so you don't have to. Because I learned what doesn't work. And with each divorce, I am a better, stronger, healthier, whole person. So actually, you probably want to be with somebody that's divorced 3 times because I can tell you all the pitfalls. Do you see how we shifted? And not everybody's going to want that. Somebody's going to be like, girl, you're a nut. And other people are like, oh, that is so refreshing. See, it made her relatable. Make sense? So this is the voice part. So then my other client, I got this a wonderful man. He was this pot smoking biker. It was a spiritual teacher. And he was ashamed that he didn't fit the stereotype. I'm like, well, we're going to get a picture of your motorcycle and you're going to say all the fucks on your page and you're going to talk about smoking pot. Because for some people, you're their perfect spiritual teacher. Some people are like, I hate all those stupid Reiki yogi girls. I want a dude that smokes pot and rides a motorcycle and says the F word and works with his hands. So we took the things that he thought were liabilities or were broken or not enough, and we just put it right out there loud and proud. And then that way, because good marketing serves to attract and repel. Does that make sense? So those are ways in terms of voice that you can put more of you in. Because my hypothesis is, back up. Well, that's on another slide. Hold on, let me just go to the next slide. How is this? I would love to hear how this is playing. Do you have any questions? Get out that one.
I do have
Yeah.
a question. So, what I've been noticing I'm struggling with is I don't have a connection to my past experience with the horse work I do. So, you know, I've raised kids, I've been married, I've had a lot of jobs, I've worked in the, I've naturally worked with animals.
Mhm.
I mean, all kinds of stuff. But
Do you think
I
you
don't,
have had a horse or something?
I did have a horse when I was a teenager, but for a couple years.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't mine. I was co-owner.
Okay. I don't think that matters. So it would be finding the thing. So I agree with you. It's like, what's the thing? Like, what's the thing that, how did you one day decide, God, humans are pissing me off. I want to have my hands on the animals. Like, what happens when you're around the animals? So you don't have to have been an owner. Like, I was freaking teaching marketing and I was a psychotherapist. I'm like, how the hell did I, like, well, I never worked in business. I
Yeah.
didn't know what a spreadsheet was. I thought Excel was a phone company. It was, right? So you don't have to have the straight line trajectory of all my education. You can take the seemingly disparate things that to me are actually cooler. They're like, you're that and a that. What? So it's, I got my hand on a horse and what do you always say? Horses talk to me.
Yeah, they do. And the truth is, at 3 years old, I knew how to ride a horse and no one understood why. It's innately in me.
There you go. That's it. That's enough.
Okay.
Co-owner, still an owner. That's right, Jane. But like to me, the horses talk to me, and you can say I've always had a connection. 3, I knew how to ride. It was like I was one with them. And then you can say, you know, my life, I co-owned a horse, but I had kids and I wasn't in the position ever to own one. But I knew it was like, how did you decide to stop from humans and go to horses? There was something about the horses that were calling you, you know? So
Yeah, they've been calling me my entire life. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
answered it. You answered.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. That's really been kind of a sticky point
Good,
for
good,
me.
good. I love that. Janice, perfect. I have 2 different pages. I remember we wrote those. One's my story and the other's my credentials. Perfect, 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 perfect. Yes, that was so good. Okay, let's share this one. Yeah. It's just finding like, what's the cool thing there? Okay, so I gave you those. Okay, so I want to first, so now we're going to move into the workshopping. We're going to look at your stuff. So if you were to look at what's causing you to get stuck with your messaging, one is old beliefs. So we could go, well, what would that be? And maybe, you know, for me, my old beliefs were, I can't say that. I can't own that. Like, no, I have to be everything to everybody. I have to be overgiving. Can I really do that? Right? Two, visibility issues. That's the fear of being seen. So if I say, here's your messaging, then the next thing is like, now get that out there. Ooh, that could be like gas brakes. Like, what? And a lot of people have, and we talked, I did a call on visibility last month, was, but what if I get rejected? What if I get judged? What if nobody comes? Right? And those usually are very deep. They can go back to past life experiences. They go back to trauma. It's a huge, huge, huge one. The other one is just a lack of knowledge. I don't know how to put this together. I'm not a marketer. I was a therapist. How the hell? Like, what do I say? Sometimes it is what it is. The other end is, what else? So let's take a second. And it could be either yours or it could be things that other, possibilities, like possibilities. So what is it? I told you mine. I couldn't hold all the magnificence of the gifts that I have. I'm like, because of being a people pleaser and overgiving.
I think I've gotten so in my head because the feedback I mostly get is you're so esoteric. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just so esoteric. I don't know how else to be other than that.
Right.
So that's a stuck point.
Right. And I want you to be esoteric and ground. So you can have the those of you who are not just doing the audio version, I'm doing hand motions here. So I'm not saying, oh no, Safrani, you must be completely counter to who you are. But when it's so esoteric that people don't understand it, you're missing it. So bring them in with a grounded and then take them to the esoteric and then ground what that happens to do and then take them up again. Does that make sense? Okay.
So, and you know some of this, but I'm like, old beliefs, and I can identify some, and I'm not saying I don't need work in the ones that I can identify, because I do, but I am aware of them. So it's easier to, do work around those. So the question is then, how do I identify old beliefs that I don't even know what they are?
It's like one of those Russian finger doll things, right? Right. Well, some are top of mind. So some, if you would just ask yourself, and this is for everybody, right? Am I putting myself out there as much as I can? Am I like, if I want to be out here to this level and I'm only putting myself out to this level, what's the story? Beliefs show up in our stories. Self-talk. So what's the self-talk? And for you, Janice, you might be saying, no, I post a couple times a week, or I do 2 emails a month. Where maybe you believe that's enough, right? Maybe you're like, nope, that's all I want to do. That works for me. But often there's something about but what is holding you back from more visibility? So sometimes the question is, what would be potentially not safe, dangerous, uncomfortable if you're really out there? What would people say? What would it take? Yeah. So these are questions to kind of chew on a little bit, right? So
because I'm like, well, I have a VA, so she does the posting, and she'll remind me if I haven't posted in a while, and so I'm like, well, that kind of stuff doesn't get me anywhere.
Okay, so we'll keep circling. Something to light for you here. Alice, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
There's a fear of making a promise I can't keep.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of us, because, I always think, gosh, if I was just a plumber, it'd be so easy. Poof, there you go. Wow, see, or, oh, we got to cut the pipes out, put new ones in, fixed. But we who work with humans, not commodities like pipes. And we work with energy and emotions and homes and feelings, and it's right. So like, this is why I don't say, work with me and I'll get you $10,000 by the end of next month. I never say that. I can't guarantee that. But what I can say is, I will get to the bottom of why you're not. I will do everything I can to support you. The rest is up to you. So it is a little squishy about the guarantee. And because what happens for you is you uncover more and uncover more. You're like, ah, shoot, I didn't know that was there. Right. So it's kind of like a quality. You get my quality, you get my commitment, you get all the years I have. I don't know how you're going to be with that. I don't know what we're going to find when we get to the horse, but I guarantee you I'm not giving up. See what I mean? You can't go, oh, give me 3 months, he'll never have a problem again. You can't do that. So be careful about how you make the promises.
Right.
At the same time, I think, at least for me, sometimes it was a matter of not realizing how much more I knew than the client did. And by that, so in the early part of my days when I was doing hands-on organizing productivity, I'll give a quick example. This was old because Franklin Covey planner was around, and I had a client who had been given, the nice leather thing, and then every year after that was given the inserts for the year. And he says, this old planner is really falling apart, but I don't want to spend all the money to get a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and hopefully I said it with a really straight face, I said, well, you can actually put the insides into any notebook. And he's like, I can? And me, I'm thinking, how could you not know this? So sometimes I think that we forget that, our expectations of ourselves are higher than they have of us because they aren't at the starting point that we're at. Because if they were, then they wouldn't have called us to begin.
That's so good. That's your brilliance is in your blind spot. You take that stuff for granted. Like, doesn't everybody know? No, they don't all know. They don't know. That's a great example. Absolutely. Okay, let's keep going on. All right. So we're doing the what's in the way. Okay. Visibility. We're gonna pause with this one because it's kind of basic stuff. Let's talk workshopping. Here's where we get to workshop your work. Like, so Safriana, you have an evergreen program. If you want to spend some time, if you're comfortable to do that now.
Absolutely. I'll take whatever help I can get.
She's gonna tell me I'm esoteric again.
Hey, you gotta say it. You gotta say it.
Say it. I love that about you. Go ahead, go.
Okay, so the program is a process, butterfly immersion, using the symbolism of the butterfly to tackle any area of your life that you don't feel is working for you, right? So you feel stuck, you feel empty, you feel broken, you feel yucky, and you want to clear that out. So that is what this program is for. And it's it's a course, and they have the option to upgrade and get one-on-one. But yes, we literally, they are guided to go into the cocoon and actually process the stuff so that they can no longer be held back by it on the other side. Not
right, but
it.
in essence, they're stuck in the cocoon in a certain way to begin with.
Yeah, I say they're stuck as a caterpillar. They're still consuming what isn't real for them. They're just eating up all this false information and stories, right? And they need to go into the cocoon to be able to change that, alchemize it, change it into something new, which means acknowledging it, not just avoiding it, seeing it, and then untangling it.
So how can we help you? So what do you need? What like by the end of our little moment here with you, what do you want to walk away with?
I would like to walk away with a statement that I feel really confident saying, if you have this butterfly immersion in your back pocket to use anytime, you never need to worry about this again because you have the solution. I want to be able to titrate it down to something that's tangible, that I don't have to explain the whole, and and then there's activations and there's meditations and there's journal prompts and there's this and there's that. This is a This is a program where you will learn a process you can apply anywhere in your life, anytime in the future, for any problem, literally. But wherever you're feeling stuck right now is like your leap off point. I want to be able to
That
invite them to
sounded
take
really
a leap.
strong. That's what was wrong with that.
Mm.
See, so there's
Usually that it's not written down and then I don't remember what I've said. That's usually what's wrong with it, as I say it and then it's gone.
this is
Um,
recorded. No, but see, here's the thing. What you said, this is a program that has a process. So that denotes you're going to start here, you're going to go in here, you're going to do the things here, and that's going to happen, and then on the other side, because that's why I love the word process. It's a journey, right? And so, and then the tell me more is, oh yeah, okay, I can tell about the tools, I can tell you about the cocoon element, I can tell, like, that's the more later. The beginning is this process will get you from, stuck to unstuck, from spinning your to this. So sometimes alliteration, like I had a guy who works with healers, and he was talking about him, and I'm like, it's kind of like you went from invisible to invincible, and he's like, oh. So he uses that for do you see the arc in that?
yeah, like mine would be from stuck to soaring.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
I like the stuck to soaring.
I do too.
I was gonna say also just using that caterpillar to cocoon to butterfly in its like top easiest formula. So without, I mean, I know that the process, from what you've said, talks about going into a cocoon. You don't have to necessarily tell them that part, but you can say, a process like a caterpillar who's doing this, and then they go into the cocoon and then they come out a butterfly. That's what happens with,
Nice.
X problem or Y
So
problem
you
or Z
use the
problem.
metaphor along the way. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's almost exclusively metaphor right now. So for me, it's going to be taking that metaphor and then I think like I can see marketing posts literally being like, and here, so this client was dealing with overwork. So in the caterpillar and then the chrysalis and then the butterfly
Mhm.
emerging and then the
Mhm.
cycles and like,
Mhm.
use that
I
metaphor
like
and
it. There's
ground it.
in the process, there's 4 components or 4 stages of the process. And the first one is the caterpillar. So you're in the caterpillar when you are doing the same thing and you're just blah, 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 blah. Then we move you to the next stage. So you can ground it that way. So it's still in the metaphor, but you give descriptives. You're in this stage where you feel like you don't even know who the F you are anymore because nothing's working and you're feeling like you're like just goo. But that's okay because I gotcha. Then I'll do boom, 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 boom. And then the final stage, boom. So absolutely use the metaphor because it's really important to you and people get it. Like we all kind of have I think people don't know that they just disintegrate their whole body. I don't think everybody knows that, which is like, but when you say that, people are like, that's what's happening in my freaking life. Oh my God. So it's a combination education of what happens in nature, and then you overlay your process. I think it's really good. Does this
And you can use that to create a graphic for those
Yes,
examples,
yes.
because I know that's what I've done. I have, well, mainly my VA has
Think about it.
created them. Okay, not me. I'm the one who gets her the information to put in. But when I'm doing, there are several different types of posts where I have graphics, but I like automatically when you're saying that, I'm thinking, oh, I can
That was really
see
nice.
a
Yeah.
graphic. It could be a rotating thing, it could just be a straight line thing, but where you actually have, you can decide whether or not you want to use, a caterpillar or whether you have your own, caterpillar that is part of your brand or whatever. But, that would be an easy way to do it so people could actually look and get it as well as read it.
Janice is a really good grounded brain person for you. Like you guys are the Safriana. And Janice, whenever we talk, I'm like, oh, thank you. That was said so well. So that's Janice's genius is to help. There we go. There we go. That's her. That's what she does really well. Thank you. So Safriana, how is this feeling for you?
I mean, I'm liking hearing that the metaphor is actually good. I can lean into that more and use that. And, getting some examples is good. And yeah, I'll review what I said.
What you're saying.
about that
Yeah.
little snippet. But yeah, I'm even thinking I might want to do some A/B testing and test
Mhm.
this is a process versus like this is a framework, because I know that you know me, I know the different types. So there are types of people who like frameworks, and
Frameworks,
there are
yeah,
some people who
right.
want to be guided more. So,
Right. Right.
even having differentiation in the messaging to speak to different
Beautiful.
people.
Blueprint, right? Beautiful. Okay, perfect. All right. Anybody else who's got a messaging thing we can workshop? Alice said you had a flyer.
Yes.
Yes, the famous flyer.
Yeah.
Do you want to share it? Or do you want
Sure.
to tell them about it? What do you want to do?
So the flyer is a barn special, $50 off per participant if they are in the same barn and sign up on the same day. And there has to be 3. And if anyone no shows or anything, here, let me see if I can pull it up.
Okay,
Oh,
so that's so feature loaded. Most of us that aren't horse people don't maybe know what that means. And that's like, okay, so if somebody doesn't show up, then am I screwed with the money? Like you're focused on just this. And
yeah.
throw all that away.
Okay, so
You can share. I know. And we're laughing because we've seen this flyer multiple of times, and every time I'm like, that is an ugly baby, Jen. And darling, Alice, that is an ugly baby.
it's missing its teeth.
Clean up your baby. You cannot say it that way. So see,
All
that's
right, so how do I share?
pull it up on wherever it is, and then go to the bottom of the Zoom that says share. So pull it up on your browser first,
Okay.
and then go to the very bottom. It says share, and you can just pop that. So click on the browser, then click on the Zoom share.
Yeah.
Or you can put the URL in the chat and I can share it.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Uh,
Part of differentiating is if you just say $50 off, and if 3 people and 2 people, how are you unique? What is that? Right. So that's why I keep asking, like, beyond
okay.
if people know you, like if like you guys are all my clients, I go, hey guys, I'm doing a special, I'll give you $100 up. You all know me, you already know the work. So you would go, oh, cool. So give me 200 back. Cool. I'll do that. But somebody that doesn't know you, got it?
Okay, it's giving me all these options. It's not really very obvious how to share.
Okay. What can you put it in the chat then? Can you put the URL in the chat?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, then we'll just have to, or we can also do this on Thursday.
I know I've looked at it too, and I kind of had the same feedback. I don't think I ever articulated it because I was like, I wouldn't know what the product I was getting the discount on is yet. It
That's
almost
it.
felt like there
Yep.
needed to be 2 flyers, one that said, this is what I offer, and then the second flyer that says, by the way, have 3 barn friends with, 3 different
Right.
horses. I
Right.
can give you
Yeah.
all a nice discount for working
Yeah,
together.
I can't pull it up and share it, and it doesn't have a URL thing. So,
Okay.
but
Well,
thank you. That feedback alone helps a lot.
So just
So,
you have an ugly baby, seemingly isn't getting. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Teasing. No, but it's the context. Like the context. If
yeah,
you all know me, you work with me, you know the work. You're like, wow, $50 off, $200 off, awesome. That would be a yes. If you don't know me, and I'm like,
yeah,
hi, $6, but block by this time, and if you have 3, there's no context. So I love what Sefriana said.
yeah.
Perfect. Is it, I believe I've heard about this flyer before, but I don't have more recollection than that.
It's infamous.
But
Infamous.
what comes to my mind is sort of an, are you looking for kind of flyer?
Beautiful.
And,
Beautiful.
and then because that could appeal to people that,
nice.
some people that are looking for it, and some people that didn't realize they were looking for it until you basically tell them they're looking for it.
Exactly.
Right.
So are you looking for X? Oh, well, I
Perfect.
can help you with
So
that.
good. You should be with us on Thursdays. That you would help.
Yes.
So, because literally the title is Barn Special. Well, what's on special? Is the barn on special? Like what? But when you say, Janice, are you looking for X? You know,
The
does
result.
your horse need some boom, boom, boom? Are you looking for boom, boom, boom? Cool. Bring 3 friends. I'll give you each $50 off. Right. But
Yeah.
Alex, get in the details of, but if somebody cancels in 2 hours, like that makes my head fly off, because that's why they're just in the weeds, and they should be in some beautiful copy or a testimonial. That's all. That just call for more information. That's all. Like that one little marketing thing, when you get so in the weeds of details, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I thank you. That actually helps
Okay.
a lot. And
Yeah,
yes, the reason I got into the weeds is because in the past, long past, I've had people pull crappy things where they have multiple people sign up and then 2 no shows.
Right.
And it's like,
But
well,
don't do that on a flyer, because it's
right.
too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, however, because I hear the weeds. I live a lot of my life in the weeds as well, and I have to pull myself out of the weeds. And so while I totally get why not to put all that detail, having a star and then at the bottom,
No
the
sentence.
words that come to my mind say exceptions apply, but that wouldn't be what
Right.
you would do. But
Right.
something of that nature, just to let them know that when you call, I'll give you details or whatever
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
not on the flyer itself.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That helps tremendously.
Beautiful.
Everybody's feedback helps. Thank you.
Finally.
Yay.
Barn flyer solved. So if you guys are wondering, Saffron and Alice are in my Activate community. So that's why we know Alice's flyers. We know the butterflies and the esoteric nature of our beautiful Saffriana, because they're with me 3 times a week, 3 times a month. All right, Jenny, you want to share anything about your lead magnet? And props to you. My gosh, this is pretty fast. You've really blown.
Yeah, and I'm hosting a summit in early October, and I'm putting out free sessions for my one-on-one. So everything is like happening, but with my mom and everything, I feel kind of frozen. And then I've just spent 2 days. This isn't part of the thing, but anyway, I've just spent 2 days getting pictures together for her memorial, which is Friday, for a slideshow. And so I feel like then I had to go back and stuff and quickly do the lead magnet today. So I'm a little bit all over the place on one level, and on another level, I'm just like channeling her go-getter energy of get shit done.
Nice. Good.
Because my mom was very much like that. She did things, whereas I take long and I ponder and I got to have all my ducks in a row. And my mom was fearless and she just did things, and I can feel her with me. And so I'm just like, get shit done. Let's do this.
Mama still lives. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So
Oh.
so it's very much like a lot of different things going on with me. Yeah. So, and I'm speaking to people and I'm thinking, well, they won't speak at my summit, like in the back of my mind, because they're like up here. And everyone said yes. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I've just started, like I've got some. I haven't reached out to other people yet, but
Yeah.
everyone who was originally that I had meetings with, I'm like, how did this happen? I better go ahead and like, this is happening. So
good.
yeah, if anything, it's just the energetics. Yeah, my lead magnet is a quiz. It's on kind of finding what's holding you back, what parts of life. But it's not a live quiz, it's a PDF, because on the system I have the quizzes coming soon, but mine's a quiz anyway, and I'm thinking, even though it's not perfect
I like
in the
it.
perfect format, it's just get stuff done, and I can always tweak it in the future and turn it live. And
Beautiful.
yeah, so I think it's just, yeah, I've been okay. And then today I got a lot of anger suddenly about something that was happening the last time my mom visited, because my mom lived in LA, you know, so, and I'm in South Africa. So the last time she visited, I couldn't spend such a lot of time with her because what was happening with work. And I suddenly realized I've got so much anger about that. Like, I feel like my time was kind of stolen and I can never get that back. So that's hitting me hard today.
Thank you for sharing that, honey.
And I just also don't know if it's appropriate, but the whole butterfly thing was just so beautiful. I love that analogy. And I am looking for something to show you on my phone. And I saw a photo of my mom that I'd never seen before on Saturday. And I was like, wow. And that hit me hard, the whole transformation thing. You'll understand when I show you the photo, if I can find it quickly. And I saw the photo. I was at a place. I was like, whoa. I took 3 steps and found an orange butterfly on a stick, the exact same thing. And I was like, wow. And then I bought the butterfly and it was like my mom was with me. So
Here we go. Oh my. Oh. That's magnificent.
yeah, that whole butterfly thing now has serious meaning for me in a different way as well.
Can I give you a little messaging thing?
Please.
Part of what could be woven in your story, because I'm assuming the work with people that you're doing, I mean, I don't know the exact what your outcomes are, but because you had your job, you couldn't spend time with your mom, trying to work for the money,
Yeah.
and time with your mom was taken from you.
Yeah.
And that could be one of the things I talk about with messaging is what's your stand, or what have you overcome? And you could say, I don't want any woman, I want nobody to miss time with their loved ones.
I was just saying to my daughter earlier that this will never happen again, because
Yes.
now we'll make things work, because time is valuable and precious.
Yes.
And spending that time with your loved ones. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay, honey. We're
Very
holding.
recent.
Yeah. It was like she died last week. So
Yeah, about 12 days ago. So, and the flip side of that, I don't want to like use my mom's death, but it is a very valuable lesson for me.
and it's a reminder for us too. So one thing I learned going through, because it's not an accident, because you've been kind of putzing around with this, putzing and boom, it got done. Like, it's interesting that they all, you know, she leaves and they get
Yeah.
born kind of at the same time, and the butterflies and all that. And so
Yeah.
you can literally say, as I was starting all this stuff rolling out, I got such a powerful reminder of, like literally, if you say, I don't want another woman to feel that, what would that be? I do this work because I don't want any other woman to
waste time or to undervalue themselves and spend hours working, switching money for time, when there's such valuable things here that we can be spending our time on. So if we own our value, get our shit out there, help people, move on, and spend that time with our loved ones and value that, because it goes in a heartbeat and I can never have that time again. Sorry.
don't apologize, Louie. These are safe spaces, you know, we can hold you here. I'm so delighted that you showed up. You seriously, you've been in my heart. I've been thinking about you so much, and I was delighted to see you here today.
Thanks.
Take a breath. Your mom would be inspired by your courage. And I love seeing the photos. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful woman. Your cute daddy as well, cute family.
Thank you.
Okay. But it's an example of, you can use anything, because this is alive for Jenny. This might not be forever messaging, but it's alive for her right now. I'm just walking through this grief journey with my mom, and it has lit a fire under me. You got to sign up for this summit. You got to get a session with me because I just lost time. I'll never get that back. I don't
Yeah.
want you to lose time.
Yeah.
You can, and you know, maybe in 6 months or a year, I'll be like, nah, that's not right, but use it right now. And this is not exploitive, because here's the thing, what we go through, our market goes through. What our wounds are, our market has this, like, raise your hand if you've sometimes have felt not understood. Raise your hand if you feel like nobody's hearing you. Who the fuck do you think has those? Like, those are mine. So my wounding, my, you know, childhood trauma stuff, not seen, not valued, not heard, not visible, I call in the people that have the same. And so what I'm going through, I share it, because likely my market has the same either desires or challenges. And
Yeah.
so if you can say, I'm just going through this, and people are going to be like, oh, either I went through it and I feel horrible, or, oh my gosh, thank you for that reminder. You woke me up, because I've been asleep and I've been going through the things like, you woke me up. So, okay, Safriana, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've witnessed I'm not gonna name names, but I've witnessed somebody who experienced the loss recently of a dear loved one, and she brought it into her marketing so gently, and like I think it really resonated with people, right? Grief is something everybody experiences at some point, and I don't think that your mom would feel like you're using this as an opportunity, right? Because
Yeah.
it's from that pain that you want other people to not have that same pain.
Yeah.
So
And
I just
conviction,
wanted to,
conviction, right?
yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All righty. So, gosh, now I hate to go back to my slides. Jenny, do you feel, or are you just
No,
hanging
no,
out in
it's
the
all
yummy?
good.
In the
No,
yummy?
your slides are helpful and it's all
Good.
good. Thank you.
Good, good, good.
Thank you for listening also. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect.
And you for everyone. Yeah.
Okay. The visibility is how, where, why. And here's the most important thing, because visibility is basically just getting your work in front of people, right? Where do I post? What platforms am I using? What am I saying? What's the purpose of that? So there's the tactical, send X amount of emails a week, do X amount of videos, do all the impressions, grow your followers. That's not the most important. That's a very important thing. But I want you to think about, and I want everybody to answer this. Who do you have to be? Like, if you were to don your visibility, or like the identity of you being the most visible, what needs to shift? Let me just see what's next. The sale, the pitch is next. So we'll just stay here. I think in our Activate community recently, I did a training call about visibility. And it was, what is your identity? Because a lot of people will say, well, I don't want to bother somebody. And you know, they already know this, and I don't want to send so many emails. And it's like, but that's not coming from a powerful place. That's coming from a woman who, we all do this. I don't want to be a bother, because we've been told we're bothered. We're told we're too much. We're told, like, go sit down, for decades, eons, hundreds of years. But what if you had an identity such that every piece of marketing, I'm gifting, I'm sharing goals. That's right. This is from love. This is from, like, I walked through some freaking fire, and I might know a way out. And like I was doing with Jenny, I don't want any other woman on my watch to experience what I did. I don't want you stuck here. I don't want you lost here. I don't want you wasting time here. So I have the identity of, like, this is helping. So all those marketing pieces, all those videos, all those things. So if you dawn and it's not just, oh shit, I gotta do marketing, get visible. It's just like, I get to share. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Like, if you're on my email list, I often will say, thank you so much for being in, and I don't call them subscribers. I say, thank you for being in my community. I really value that you're my community. And I mean that. I literally mean, like, wow, you are taking the time to read this stuff. I don't take that lightly, right? They're not just a subscriber. They're just not a newsletter reader. They're like, wow, these people said yes to something. They actually are listening to me. I owe it to them. So the visibility piece is what you do, the tactical aspects of it. But more importantly is, who do you have to become? So I shared mine. So let's just kind of riff with this a little bit. Who do you have to become? Because it's a persona, it's a role, it's an identity. So when we get to identity, we have to say, what would you have to believe? So beliefs forge the identity. So my beliefs, I shared, I have some things that can help. It's my responsibility to help. If I walk through some hell, I can help you avoid the hell. I got to tell you that, right? So my beliefs support creating a new identity that makes it then easy to take the action steps. Okay, so let's just beliefs and identity. Because this to me is like, this is how you get visibility. It's not just do more. Because do more, like for example, I am a person who I love to exercise. I love to work out. And then what instead of like, I got to get my cholesterol lower, it's like I'm super fit. I want to be an athlete. I'm not really an athlete, but and I am an athlete or I'm a strong, healthy person is different than crap. I got to go to the gym because the doctor says I'll die if I don't. That's a have to do. The other one is I'm a this. I'm super fit. There we go. 65 girls. Boom. And I drive everybody around me crazy. You're not eating that gluten, are you? Just my children, only my children. My point though is it's the identity that drives my actions. So when you pull the identity of, wow, who am I as a visibility person? Who am I as a marketer? Who am I selling marketing? Okay, so I want to hear some thoughts for you. Identity is a queer spirit guide. Okay, talk about that though, darling. How does that make you, how does it pull you into visibility? Because I know that's who you are, but how does that make visibility happen?
Well, first, when I actually own that, right, it's me being fully visible as me. And the owning that I'm a guide is owning how I actually work with people. I'm not a
Beautiful.
therapist. I'm not a coach. I am there with you, guiding you through the forest. You're telling me where you want to go. I'm making sure you don't fall on your face.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, you have no problem with getting out there. Like you're pretty prolific with your ability to be real. So nice. Other thoughts on identity? Either what do you have, what do you need, what would help, where are you stuck? Because when you can nail this, that's the visibility aspect will get easier.
More feeling bold and confident. I'm very clear on the outcome, the results that the horses receive. I'm just not as bold and confident in speaking it.
So your potential work then would be you're laying in bed and somebody's praying to God and you're like, nah, I don't want to help. I know I can. I know I'm supposed to, but I'm going to be lazy today and I'm being playful with you. Or I'm going to be a little insecure today. Or oh God, I don't want to be bothered. Just go find somebody else for supper. And again, I make that like, that's what it is. So it's kind of like the people that I hang out with, we're all mission based, right? Generally are for me, and I think everybody here, the work we do in the world is like our sole purpose. This is our work. This is our ministry. This is our mission. This is how we contribute to change in the world. And we get to say, I'm having an off day. I'm just Netflixing. Y'all can just go on. But for the most of the time, it's like, God dang it, I gotta transcend my small self. I gotta transcend the shit. I gotta do the work. I gotta be the steward of this gift that I've been, because I didn't get that gift. I can't help the horses. You're the one. You got the gift. And it's not the horses, it's the owners. Because horses aren't hiring you. The owners are like, I mean, I know if it was a dog, if my dog, I would be like, oh my, please, oh my God, he can't die. I don't want to lose. Oh my God, he's limping. Right. I know from an owner perspective, like to find somebody, I have to find somebody. And so anything like, well, but I don't really want to be bold. What are you doing if you're not bold?
Hiding.
Right. So you can explore. And you know what? I love that you have the courage to say that because a lot of people do. It's really hard when the service you sell is you. It's one thing if I'm like, oh my God, you guys, this TV remote, you should just really totally get this TV. It's an LG, blah, 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 blah. We can do that. We can do that all day. But when it's like, you should buy this little redhead with a decent biceps, you should buy this thing. It's harder when it's us that are up for sale. All the shit comes up, all the insecurities, all the conditioning, all the stuff. And the mission must be bigger. But I have people that are freaking praying for me. Get out of bed, stop being in your small self. At least for me. I'm not saying that for you. That transcends me. I have to be bold. I have to get out there because I freaking help people. That's my work in the world. Not everybody's wired this way, but that's crazy who are wired this way. If you get an identity of visibility, then it'll be so much easier because we all know what to do. We all know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wow. I kind of got some preaching going on. I'd like to hear an amen. Preach it, sister. All right. So I would love to hear takeaways. Takeaways. What are your takeaways? This was good. Thank you so much for participating. You guys have been great. And if you're watching later, I would love to hear, like, what are your takeaways? Replay people. I really don't feel like leaving, but you have to. Okay. I'm going to send you a message, Jenny. Yeah. Okay. Jenny's got to leave. All right. Takeaways while I do this one thing. Share. So here's the deal. I can help. I can help. I have an Activate community. The one a couple of the women are in. It's 3 calls a month. It's super great community. You get so much support, and it's only $97 a month. Prices are going to be going up October 1st. So I would buy it now. Private coaching, I'm starting mastermind. So if anybody's interested in like, I want to work with you a little bit more, it's threescaling.com. Let's connect, or just message me. Like, you don't even have to go through the calendar thing if you're like, I want to hear what you can do. So, all right. Takeaways. What are you taking away? And we'll wrap up. How has this been helpful? Bye, Jeannie.
So I said I'll try to lean more into the metaphor and use the grounded examples with each stage of the
Beautiful.
metaphor to create
Yeah.
that.
It's really good. You have it all. You just needed to pull it down just a little bit. So thank you. And can I just say, I so love the cat in the background just wandering through. It's just very, we've not seen Genesis today.
I don't know where she is. She was here when I first started.
Okay. Yeah, I'm used to your cat. I'm used to the tail.
Yeah,
you know?
she's usually wandering through here.
All right, Janice Alice, takeaways from today. What'd you get?
There's
there's
Well,
one.
I wrote a bunch of phrases, but identity drives action, I think is.
Does. That's awesome. Good. Thank you. You really helped a lot. It was a really good contribution for me. Thank you. Alice, takeaway.
a lot more clarity about everything, in particular, speaking up.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Good, good. Make your life about it. Make your life about,
Yeah.
This matters. I'm going to fight for this. It's worth fighting for.
Yeah.
So. All right. Next month, the September one is about receiving. Receiving. So yeah. So I don't even know the full title, but the art of receiving to grow your business, but that's going to be our September event. And so thank you so much, you who were live. Super fun to hang out with you. And if you're listening on the replay later, message me. Let me know what you got out of this. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.